Doug estimated that it was about 1 in 10, but out of that fraction, nearly everyone who was tagged was wearing a pair of glasses not too dissimilar to his own. One was a girl who sometimes served him in one of his coffee shop haunts. The tag offered a name, pronouns, and a relationship status. Doug filed it all away. He presumed that all of these people had given some kind of consent about their information being broadcast in this fashion. Presumably, when it came his turn, he would be asked to give similar permission. He would think about that carefully. A video advert caught his eye as he crossed the road. An SUV slinking through improbably empty city streets under golden hour light, followed by a close-up of the driver behind the wheel, angling his head to look directly at Doug. Doug recognized himself, or rather, he recognized the perfected, tanned, designer-stubbled, golden hour saturated version of himself. The Doug he could be, the Doug he was on the way to being, the Doug who suited these glasses. The advert asked what he wanted to be driving next year. Doug winked back at Doug. The advert changed. An expensive brand of wristwatch, being slipped onto a tanned, hairy wrist that looked all too familiar. The advert changed again. The back of Doug with someone who might be Martha, or might not, strolling hand in hand on some white sandy beach at sunset. Doug crossed the pedestrian bridge over the Wear, pausing to survey the scraps of garbage collecting on the high side, where the flowing water encountered a grill. He stared a little longer until, one by one, the scraps melted away, digitally erased. Whatever unfortunate set of circumstances had drawn the emergency services to the Wear last night, there was no trace of it now. Just clean flowing water, combing itself into glinting threads as it spilled through the grill. Over the 2-meter drop in level on the other side of the weir, Doug marveled at the creamy gyrations of foam on the lower level. Perhaps it was just a psychological manifestation of wearing the goggles. But everything seemed richer and more interesting now, more liable to snag his gaze and hold it. He could imagine spending a lot of time just looking at things. If that was how the goggles paid for themselves, if that was how he served his side of the transaction, he could think of far worse arrangements. After all, he did have quite a lot of time on his hands. Doug crossed the river, skirted a rough neighborhood, not too risky at this time of day, and parked on a bench at one of his favorite public parks. He killed time, watching the joggers and roller skaters, their sportswear colors neon bright. The digits clicked from over 0 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds to 1 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Congratulations on your first hour of GOG usage, Doug. Maintain usage to continue unlocking features. A girl walked past the bench, eyes dipped to her phone. Nice hair, straight black fringe, patterned yellow dress, leather jacket, and a glimpse of ink in her thigh as the breeze lifted her hem. Doug swiveled his head slightly, tracking her as she passed. He allowed his uninvited gaze to linger on her receding form for no more than a second. The goggles opened a playback window in his upper left visual field. The girl approaching, passing, receding, only rendered more real, more alluring than when she had actually been there.